Hey everybody, welcome to Telemazing. I'm James Mwamba along with Cody Boccia, Alex Trolio, and Subhash Santosh. Today we're going to be talking about the review of 11/22/63. It's the new show on Hulu starring James Franco, about him going back in time to figure out who really killed John F. Kennedy.
Well, no, we know who.
Well, we think we
She's
know.
trying to stop it.
Well, he's trying to figure out. No, he's trying to figure out whether he was him, and then if it is him, to kill him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to be like, we knew it was
you.
Go ahead.
Okay. We just wanted to know.
We just wanted to know.
That's
Clarify.
all. Yeah.
A lot of movies about if you really did it, we're just happy to know you did. Thank you. Carry on.
The first 3 episodes, the plot, how's it going so far? How are you guys feeling about it?
I like it. It's intriguing. It's pulling me in. I want to know what happens more and more. But I will say though, the whole premise is a bit silly. You have to buy the premise, which is that James Franco goes back in time. I would imagine if you were the kind of person who can't buy that specific part of the show, then you can't really watch the show.
Right, and to be fair, this is a book from Stephen King.
Yeah.
And so even though by itself the show is really, guys, if you know it's Stephen King, this is the type of books and the type of stories he does. So by that account, you kind of go okay, I know what I'm getting myself into.
Right.
That's not the main point of the show.
No.
It's not to prove to you that time
That
travel
time exists.
is possible.
Yeah.
It's the whole point is if buy that this is possible, and if it was, what could we do to go back in the past and change a huge historical event? And what would that mean? What would the effects be?
He's not somebody that the modern day is we have chosen you to go back in time and do this. It's kind
He's
of
not
just
Captain America.
Chris Cooper was I gotta show you something before I die.
Yeah.
And he has he's okay, I guess this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
After the first 20 minutes of that issue, everything afterwards has been pretty much not smooth sailing, but has been interesting enough and intriguing enough for you to keep going.
Yeah. Another point is that he it answers the question of what would how would life be in the 1960s? You always ask that question, and then if you could go back in time, what would life be like? And he's actually living that.
Yeah, when he goes to the bathroom and the guy comes out and it's a black guy coming out of the bathroom and James Franco was about to walk in the same one and he goes, "Sir, you're walking in the wrong one," and you're like, "Wait, what?" Oh yeah. That was a thing, and that was happening.
I mean, we've talked before about shows that you would love in the 1960s, but I think what it does amazingly is it brings somebody from modern day to there. So it's showing the 60s through a modern eye.
Yeah.
It's not just like Mad Men or something where you're removed and you're watching them all live under this bubble. You're watching as if you were there yourself,
because he
how
is,
you would respond to
Yeah.
He's representing us.
Let's talk about James Franco.
Love it.
I think he's doing such a phenomenal job. He's got enough charm
Yeah.
that you can believe him pulling off certain things and certain mistakes that he has to cover up because he does bring a natural charm to his character and he just has it instinctively. But I also love the fact that he plays like he has no real idea what he's doing and is figuring it out. It's been really entertaining watching him be this character, and I completely believe it, 100%.
I'm okay with James Franco. I'm not thrilled with them, but I'm not disappointed by him at all.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing about it is I'm mixed on it. It's not that I don't like him, because I really do love James Franco. I am a huge fan of him in movies and stuff like that. But I think I'm just more of a fan of his goofier stuff, and I don't think that there's any. I don't think I couldn't see this character played by anybody else but James Franco. I don't think.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's a leading man character, but I don't think
he's not owning it to the point where
there's
you're
anything so specific about him that you're just reading it off the page and be like, James Franco has to play this. I think it can be done by anyone.
What was your thoughts on Chris Cooper's character?
You need a brilliant actor like him to sell that plot point, that specific thing that we just talked about, the whole time travel issue.
Yeah.
You need a guy like him who has the acting chops to do it. And he's a character actor. He does a fantastic job.
You look at him as somebody who's lived through it all, and that's why he wants it. It wouldn't make sense if James Franco wanted to go save Kennedy. It makes sense that Chris Cooper's the war would have been different, everything would have been different.
his life would have been different.
Yeah.
And there's this obsession in his eyes that you can see, as he's draped over the shawl, and he's dying of cancer. You can just see it's an obsession that he's had all his life, and he just wants to do this thing.
And even above his obsession, a desperation. Trying everything he can to change the outcome of his life. Anybody else that we talk about will be a spoiler. So I kind of want to be There are other characters that are amazing, but just watch the show. Let's talk about shows that are similar to 11/22/63. That it's a tough one because it's a little bit weird. Like you can't go like time travel shows because then it's like it's not necessarily Doctor Who, but it's also not necessarily a 1960s set piece because it's not Mad Men. So it's kind of a tough thing to pin down a similar type show.
It reminded me of aspects of Lost for some reason.
Okay,
I can see that.
Because like a character is doing something where in a time where like no one knows who he is. He is sort of going in covert to fulfill a specific mission, and but it also has like time travel elements to it.
I mean, J.J. Abrams did Lost, and J.J. Abrams did 11/22/63, so it's definitely I can definitely see production-wise like how that would feel similar.
Right.
I know we had talked about Wayward Pines a little bit. It's about a foreigner being in a place that they are not used to, and their goal of how to finish what they're there to do.
The only thing that I could come up with that maybe had remotely similar themes was actually DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which is about a group of people that go back in time and travel to specific points in time to prevent certain things from happening so that a future event can be prevented. So they're trying to change the timeline so that whatever that result was doesn't happen anymore.
I think Black Mirror is definitely the type of show that's very into the what if this happened type of feel, and definitely goes into the controversial of those type of conversations. And so I definitely feel like anybody who's interested in Black Mirror would love a show full of conspiracy theories and the what ifs.
Yeah.
So here it is. Is this show worth watching? Ultimately, there is no definitive proof that this is exactly what happened, and this kind of takes that right of you may have thought these things, and maybe there's one or two other conspiracy theories, but here's this whole book of them, and let's see where we go. Let's have some fun. And it's just, I think it's so cool. So I say go for it. I say watch it. It's worth watching. I
also say watch it. I think it's a really interesting premise, and I like the limits that they've put on time travel and what you can do and the consequences of it. So it's not just like, I'm going to change something because this is awesome. The acting is great, the premise is fun, and I just think it's a really, if you like history too, this is such a fun show to watch.
It's really action-packed, really suspenseful as well, has a few lighthearted, romantic, funny moments. I think it's a really good watch, I really do. I highly recommend it.
I would say I would recommend this show. It's a limited series, which I love, so it's in your life for a brief period of time and then it disappears forever, and I hope this one does too. Not because it's a terrible show after 10 episodes, but because it tells you the story that it needs to tell and then goes away, which is what I really like.
Alright everybody, so that's our preview of 11/22/63. If you like this video, make sure you like it below and subscribe. We have so much content that we make. We have all our YouTube videos that we do every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Along with that, we have our podcast on Mondays and our Telemazing Live on Wednesdays on Periscope. So make sure you subscribe. We do so much. We work so hard. Cody works so hard to do all this stuff for you. For you! Anyway, thanks for Cody, for myself, for Alex, for Subhash, I'm Mwamba. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.